How you living? Hope you're doing well. Anyway, if you're playing Remnant 2, I hope you like infinite turrets. As you can see with this skill combo, we are able to get infinite ammo on our turrets. This is because of a unique interaction with the turret from Engineer and the reboot skill from Invader. Now, your primary archetype and your secondary archetype doesn't matter as long as it's these two. I personally prefer High Tech as a prime perk to the Invader one, but that's just personal. Anyway, what's happening here is, if you don't know what Reboot does, Reboot snapshots your ammo, it snapshots your health, stamina, negative status effects, all of that for its entire 30-second duration. Now, when that duration runs out, anything that you've done in that time frame, like ammo loss, health loss, it's not going to be refunded when that 30 seconds runs out. So you want to pop it before that timer goes away. So this is essentially on a 30-second time limit. But Reboot snapshots your turret's ammo, which is weird because it doesn't do the same for the health of your summons on Summoner, which is super weird. And why is it working only for this skill but not the summons? I'm not sure if it's a bug on one side or the other, but either way, that's what it is. But there is a specific rotation that you need to master here. In fact, this is my second take as I screwed up my rotation. You want to pop Reboot, then your turret, and you let the timer run down, you do whatever you want to, you shoot a little bit, maybe even pop a mod. The mods don't refresh, but your ammo does. Deactivate Reboot, deactivate turret, and there you go, you get essentially infinite turret ammo. Now, I don't want to say it is infinite, but as long as you have the Reboot skill active, this is essentially an infinite loop that can keep going on forever. Anyway, on to my gear. Your armor doesn't really matter here. I'm going with the Dendroid mask, Knotted Cage, Dendroid leggings, and Labyrinth gauntlets. Knotted Cage just covers up your entire arms, so to me there's no reason to run anything other than Labyrinth gauntlets here for as much armor as we can get. On top of that, we have the Engineer trait, which gives us passive DR, essentially, because it boosts up our armor stat. But realistically, run whatever armor you want. Your heart also doesn't really matter as well. However, I would personally take skill damage here in replace of that weak spot damage I had. That was for a more of a raw damage build, and go with something like this. You could also take off the ranged stuff, but I personally like having them because I do use my weapons a little bit with this build. So weapons don't really matter as well. I am using Savior mostly as a flex, but I also do love the weapon itself. It's probably my favorite weapon in the game. I love it so much. Melee weapon, again, doesn't matter. However, I would actually recommend the Krellax, because if you are using a weapon with a really powerful mod that you need to use, I would recommend going with Krellax to get that shock damage and use Stone of Malevolence. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Again, your secondary doesn't matter. Just change off the mod for wherever you see, so please. Also, don't ask why I have Harmonizer there. your amulet, you're going to be using Jester's Bell. It boosts your cast speed, and since we're casting a lot of skills, we're going to have that 20% damage up at all times. Probability Cord and Diana's Malice, since again I use my ranged weapons at the same time with this build, so this just bumps their damage up as well. Devoured Loop, this spot can be replaced with the what's that ring called? It's like some sapphire ring that you get on Yasha. It does essentially the same thing, but it happens on every crit hit rather than just 1% here. You can replace Devoured Loop if you have that ring, which I think might be better. I'm not too sure on that. We do crit a lot with this build anyway. And Kinetic Cyclone. Oh my god. Kinetic Cycle Stone just for the modded skill casting. Plates here. I am going with 6 points in the ammo reserves. Again, I use guns a little bit. You can take this off completely if you don't want it. I put 4 points in the Flashcaster. I love quick, snappy abilities. So, going Flashcaster really helps out here. Vigor, Endurance. I know I'm not that good. If you're much better than me at this game, and you don't need Vigor, I would recommend you put those points into, I don't know, maybe Handling. It's up to you. Expertise, to give us a minus 20% skill cooldown. You can also put some skill cooldown stuff on your heart. Fitness, because I love the interaction between Fitness and Untouchable, giving you like some insane dodges. In fact, I think on a light roll, light and medium roll, I think you can dodge faster than you can sprint, which is hilarious. Bark Skin is critical here. If you don't know, Bark Skin adds on to your armor DR to give you your total DR value, which is up to 80%. Devoured Loop takes that away from you. So essentially, you're just getting Devoured Loop with no consequence. But we are still getting 10% DR from Blood Bond. Blood Bond is a 10% DR only when the turret is active, because it counts the turret as a summon. This is critical to our survivability, as if we're not running Devoured Loop, we get a 20% DR. But since we are, 10% DR. On top of that, really, really nice to have. If you are running the Sapphire one and you don't think you need Blood Bond, again, you can put those points in anything else. Again, my recommendation would be Handling, but if you're going into something like with mods, then I would highly recommend Spirit. So, I am going to test this out on a boss now. And I would say this build is definitely more of a meme than effective. But if you want to run this build just because you want to on Apocalypse, it does okay on Apocalypse, go right ahead. It's completely up to you. Have fun with this game. I like this game, so that's why I don't make this stupid crap. Alright, first up is Gwendol. So, pretty easy boss in general. Generator and Spiteful. And not too terrible. But once again, you'll see me pop some relics here and there. Mostly to just get a free dodge. Okay, pop another minion there. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad of a run.
What the hell happened to this place?
I'm gonna try and get the Feyrin. Or Phelan. I haven't decided yet. Show you what it does against them. Well, I decided to fight Phelan. I died once. So this is take 2. I swapped over to Nebula with the Harmonizer mod, so that way it deals more damage. I'm just gonna let little buddy go through.
You are not stronger in the face.
On with the decoy. I actually have no idea how I take no damage. There you go. That's the build. I would say it's more suited to Nightmare and below, but again, you can use it on Apocalypse if you want.
Starting to think Clementine is.
If you enjoyed, leave a like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel as best as I can.
Guess I'll just find the nearest world stone.
That support helps out a lot. So, cheers and have a good day.